Welcome everybody. This is the Underhill Conservation Commission meeting on October 13th, 2025. Around the table are both guests, presenters, and conservation commissioners. And you want to, does everybody know everybody? We've already introduced. Okay. And I don't see anybody joining us remotely. And so I've got to look at the first item on the agenda, which is welcome. Oh, does anyone have adjustments to the agenda? Do you want to add anything? No, nothing? Okay. And there are no public unless, oh, you're here. Do you have any comments or members of the, no? Okay. Okay, you have no comments now, but you might in a while. And if you do, you can just signal that you can. Good. Okay. Then usually we go around the room with learnings and observations. So I can start. I did sort of prepare something, but I can't print it off because of my printer issues. So anyway, what I was wanting to talk about, because September is just passed, is September is actually the time of year when bears get really hyperactive looking for food. And that's why we've seen so many sightings around. And yeah, they spend up, I think it's more than up to 20 hours a day foraging for food, which is pretty amazing.
It's a full-time job.
Yeah, and they're trying to gain like 2 or 3 pounds a day, which is a lot of weight. A lot of acorns and.
They cleaned off my hazelnut trees.
Oh, they did?
Yeah, at least one.
We got one.
Ah.
We got 8 hunt.
Really?
That was our crop.
That's nice, though. I mean, you grew it for them.
Wow. I had a different plan.
Yeah. Anyway, but by the time a bear hibernates, it's hard to believe. They gain about 4 inches of fat. So in September they hibernate maybe in December.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, that's pretty fast weight gain, I think. And I think I don't know. That's a lot compared to their summer weight. So they don't and even the bears now, the bears here usually hibernate. I don't know any that don't. And
Yeah.
I mean,
You mean like different species of bears?
well, if
Or
it's
just bears?
warmer, where they would still do the same thing in September. In the fall, start gaining weight for the winter. So it's not just about hibernation, but again, in the winter, they'd only have people's compost to go through and trash, not the wild things. Anyway, but the goal is to, and around here, what are they looking for? So what they're looking for, in September, we still have blackberries. This year we didn't have many, but I think it's because the animals up around where we live ate them all. I didn't see many blackberries. And then they have service berries, which is one of our favorite things. We love service berries. And
Elementary.
what?
Elementary, that's the species.
Yes. Other things they have are dogwood berries. And, well, we don't have cranberries right here, but I think some places have them. But mountain ash, the berries from the mountain ash, in addition to both apples and beech nuts and acorns.
Beech nuts.
Is that a beech nut?
That's a beech nut, yeah. There's a good mass crop of it this year.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do it that way.
Wonderful
It's like me hitting a tennis ball.
Next
Yeah.
jumping out.
Yeah, they're in a bigger pod.
Right.
There's like 3 or 4 of them in each.
Yeah.
Wow, really?
Of those
Yeah.
kernels, yeah.
This year?
Yeah, it's a good crop of them this year,
Oh.
all over the place. I'm gonna try to start some.
One of the things in finding out about that, and it does say hazelnuts are highly prized, but I don't know of many people that grow and have hazelnut trees.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So that's kind of neat. The one thing that I have a lot of beech nuts around beech trees a lot, not too many oak trees,
Yeah.
but apparently oak trees, have, because they're big, the acorns are bigger, they are more prized, or more highly prized, because it's less work to
Yeah.
fill their tummies.
Yeah.
So, anyway, so there's that. And it even says that, let's see, pregnant bears can gain up to 50% of their weight, which is a lot. And then, of course, the mama bear still has their cubs. They keep their cubs, so I think a mama has cubs every 2 years. If that, yeah, it's not every year, it's every 2 years. So they keep that cub, the yearling, for a whole winter as well when they hibernate. So if you're headed into the woods, which we all like to do, just keep your eyes open for the bears. And actually, our neighbor, George Ann, saw a bear crossing the rail trail last week. Yeah. So that's my.
With ragweed allergies.
So do I.
No, they're in forest right now in our yard.
Right in here, I can feel them. Yeah. Does anyone else have comments about flora and fauna and beautiful skies? Yeah.
For the screech owls at night.
Yeah, the bar owls are.
Yeah, or two.
This is, can you duplicate a screech owl?
Yeah, that one is recorded.
Okay.
Can you do that?
They kind of sound like a horse whinnying.
Oh.
So that's what I thought it was, but it's like, well, it's nighttime. There are no horses over there.
Yeah.
But they can be kind of creepy when there's a bunch of them, when they're getting kind of amorous and active. There can be a bunch of these sounds at once, and when they're close, it can startle you in the dark.
Yeah.
I don't have anything today. That's interesting. I'm gonna go home and check out Merlin or something.
Me too. Patrick, do you have anything? Any comments?
Well, I haven't had too many new experiences lately, but this summer, one of my granddaughters photographed a timber rattler crossing the road down by Lake Bum. And it was a nice one too.
Wait, which lake?
Bombazine.
Yeah.
Bombazine.
Yep.
Oh, nice.
I think I read that one had been cited.
Yeah.
A
A rattlesnake.
Oh,
Rattler. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess they do have them down there.
Yeah.
In the shale ledges.
Yeah. I know Rattlesnake Mountain, so that's
Yeah.
Yeah.
that area. But I hope they don't come up here, particularly. I mean, I like all the snakes, but then I'd be.
They scare the heck out of me every time. They startle me. They don't scare me. They startle me every time.
They found this last month and the month before, a rattlesnake up on South Hero,
Yeah.
that they thought was a transplant.
That's what I read, yeah.
Yeah. So, okay, so then no other comments around the room? All right, then are you ready?
It's all over me.
Okay, let me see here. I'm gonna go over here. And do you want me to drive? I guess I'll
Sure,
drive.
I'll just cue you. I guess first I should introduce myself.
Yeah.
John Drew, this is my wife, Miriam Pendleton. We live up on Harvey Road. So we've lived in town for 46 years, so we have sort of an interest. And so what I'm going to talk to you about is invasive plants. And I'm going to touch on a little bit on where biological controls fit into the integrated pest management scheme. And then more specifically about what effective biological controls we have for some of the invasive plants that we see every day. So, yeah, move down. So, an invasive plant is a non-native plant that spreads aggressively in a new ecosystem and causes us all kinds of difficulties, not the least of which in some cases is aesthetic. And so what can be done about invasive plants? And that would be.
Do you want me to go?
No, that's fine.
Yeah.
So this all falls into the larger subject of integrated pest management. And I listed here the key principles of IPM, and I won't bother you with that, but monitoring monitoring what you're looking for, identifying what you're looking at, preventing it from happening, and then using a variety of methods, and then evaluating how effective they are is really the kind of broad outline of the process. And so the next one. And so in the IPM integrated pest management tactics, one of those is using biological controls, which are usually natural predators from the locale that the plant or animal has come from to control them. So you can also change your cultural practices. IPM really comes from an agricultural background. It's more about controlling things for agricultural purposes, but it's a framework that we can use. And then physical control and then chemical control. I know that's not a very popular option with many people, but it works. So if you move down one. So biological controls usually involve an antagonist species from where the plant animal came from. The process of licensing a biological control for use in this country it takes a lot of work to get it done. So it's usually done through the USDA or the National Forest Service, the U.S. Forest Service. There's a lot of lab testing and a lot of field testing to make sure that you're not going to have undesirable and unexpected effects other than your target invasive. And it takes years to do that. And the end result is if you succeed getting through that, you get something that's going to help you control the invasive, probably not eliminate it.
So for instance, in a plant, it could be the antagonistic species could be an insect or.
It could be an insect,
Could be
yeah,
somebody
it could be a fungal pathogen or, anything that, some plants have bacterial pathogens that interfere with it. So it could be anything.
And so people actually research all that and figure it out.
Yeah, usually it involves going to where the plant came from and observing what's going on in the environment there, find out what causes these plants to die or get sent back, and then figuring out how that process works and how you can go ahead and apply it.
It's the interesting work in a way.
Yeah, and you
Yeah.
have to also see how some of these biological controls will affect other non-target species too, because you can open up a can of worms and have them go after stuff that you don't want them going after too, so.
One little interesting story in that, if you've noticed that Japanese beetles are much less prevalent now than they used to be, in my experience.
I noticed that.
And so back in the 40s when Japanese beetles became a problem, they released some biological controls, probably with not the kind of scrutiny that we would give them today.
Mm-hmm.
And those biological controls are finally starting to work, and Japanese beetle populations are declining. So, yeah,
It's not a quick fix.
No,
yeah. Well, if you like your rose bushes, they're not my friends.
Yeah, well, that's interesting because I didn't have many this year at all.
yeah, we used to get tons.
Well, we used to get them
Yeah.
all over raspberry bushes, all the rose bushes. And now if you see a handful of them in the summer, it's like, oh, there they are.
Okay. So is that got something that hadn't been well researched? We get the ladybugs that are not ladybugs.
Yeah.
Right,
Because one of our neighbors bought something like 10,000 of these critters
Yeah.
and released them, and now they're not the lady. They look like ladybugs.
Well, the
But they're still
Asiatic lady
not
beetles,
ladybugs.
yeah,
They
they've
smell.
always been around.
Yeah.
As far as I know.
yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm sure they've got imported with something at some point. I don't know that they actually, other than being an annoyance, that they interfere with much. Rather, I think they do displace our native
That's what they did, yeah.
ladybugs.
And they were
Yeah.
people started really using them in greenhouses for control of aphids.
Wow.
And a lot of them escaped, and so now they're all over the place.
So they do eat aphids,
They do.
because I haven't seen many aphids around.
But in the wintertime, when they're coming into your house, they're not eating anything. They're just gonna go and hang out.
Yeah, estivate for the
And
winter.
estivate for the winter.
That's a good point, because I know I used to get those flies, for the winter,
Oh, cluster flies.
cluster flies, but I don't have many, but now I have the
Yeah.
So I wondered if they ate the flies. No.
No.
There's two good ways to deal with cluster flies. You can get this stuff, it's pulverized eggshell, and you put it in a tray on your windowsills, and the flies will get into it and they die, they can't get out. Or just vacuum them up.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Just vacuum.
Yeah, so we covered this, if you could go down on that. Now we'll talk more specifically about some of the pests that we have that might have biological controls when you're interested in. So this is not a spotted knapweed, it's a spotted knapweed.
Oh, right.
And member of the aster family was introduced in the 1800s in Washington State. They think it came in with some alfalfa seed. It very commonly grows in hay fields around here. If you can go down one more. My son lives over in Jeffersonville, right off of Route 15. He has a massive infestation of it displaces things by occupying space. It's also what's known as an allopath. So allopathic plants, a very common one that we would know about, it'd be a black ball that it kills. It exudes a chemical called jubilone into the soil around the tree and kills everything around the tree. Well, spotted knapweed has a similar strategy. They're called allopaths, which is from the Latin allio, alongside path, to kill. So my son and I actually located a company in Bozeman, Montana, that will sell you knapweed root weevils, a whole bunch of them. So we sent away and got a box of them, came to us, and we released them on his knapweed about 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, I think so.
And so what they do is you release the adults and they mate and lay eggs on the knapweed. And when the larva hatches, it burrows down into the taproot of the plant to go through its nymphal stages and grow up to be an adult. And it damages the plant in the process and causes it not to be viable. It allows introduction of soil pathogens and fungi and stuff that also affect the plant. So it doesn't kill them all, but it will lowers their survivability and makes them less competitive in the environment.
And they were researched in the lab? Is that what happened with them, or?
The ones I got, or these guys?
No, just the weevils themselves.
Yeah, someone somewhere, and I don't know who. I'm sure you could go to literature and find out. Figured out that these guys go after the knapweed, and then figured out how to exploit their life cycle in our locality. And apparently, they don't have any other effects.
Yeah, they don't have other hosts.
There is another kind of knapweed. I forget. It's not the same as the spotted knapweed, but it's in the same family. And there's a different strategy for that. You use another insect that actually eats out the apical meristem of the plant and causes it to die. So there are more than one kind of knapweed, unfortunately.
Yeah, and I think that are they neighbors or cousins of what do they call their blue
Chicory?
No, it's in they're I'm blanking on the name of it, but they bloom in the spring. Their leaf is almost the same, and it's the same. I looked it up, and it's hard to distinguish.
Yeah, they're in the aster family, and so we have a lot of native asters. Philadelphia aster, New England aster.
And do they have a blue blossom that almost looks like a little pineapple?
Yes.
Yeah, that's some kind of ornamental. I don't know what those are, but they're not.
Stokesia?
I can't remember.
Stokesia or something like that? I think there's a perennial that's much like the knapweed that's blue.
Yeah, and I have it. I planted it in my garden,
Yeah.
and now the knapweed's taking over, and it's really hard to distinguish.
Right, it would have
Which
to
is
be a
which?
flower.
It's
Yeah.
only by the flower
I
because
don't know what that is.
their blades are, their leaves are just about the same.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah.
Do you have to use that root weevil? Do they survive the winter, or do you have to get?
No, the adults I do not believe survive the winter
Yeah, they overwinter in the
as an egg.
yeah,
But the eggs survive the
Yeah.
winter.
and that's their regular life cycle.
It's Stokesa, Stokesia, often known as the Stokes aster.
Oh, that's not the flower,
That looks a lot like
okay,
this.
that's good.
Yeah.
Purple, blue, white.
So
That, it doesn't matter.
another invasive, if you lived here,
Yes.
while it was very prevalent back in if you drove down Route 22A in the 80s or 90s, purple loosestrife was just taking over all the watersheds. And so that, you all probably recognize that if you page down one more. And so the state of Vermont, a number of years ago, introduced the Gallericella beetle. And it just basically eats the loosestrife. And I've noticed over time that you still see loosestrife around, but not the big, vast expanses of it like you used to see. And so this appears to be a pretty successful effort to keep the loosestrife in check. And the next slide is a picture of so loosestrife on control and with the Gallericella beetle, right? So you can still see there's some loosestrife on the right. It's not completely eliminated, but it's not taking over the space.
And one of the big reasons the loosestrife was a problem is that it outcompeted cattails, which are a really useful part of the
Yeah, they're sort of
ecosystem.
they're anchor species for wetlands.
Yeah, and and the loosestrife also dries up wetlands, and so that's why.
That's another
That's why
thing
it's a
that
problem.
knotweed does. Is
Dries it up.
Pulls a tremendous amount of water out of the watershed and stores it in its root system. They can actually dry up a stream if there's enough of them there.
All that, I can't think of the name of the stream now. It's over, comes off the mountain and it goes through Moscow and eventually
Oh,
flows,
Little River, maybe?
it flows into the Little River
Okay.
area. And that stream is just choked with knotweed.
Yeah.
And it's nasty and
Yeah.
dry.
Yeah.
Yeah, that presents real challenges. I used to be a master applicator in the state of Maine, and one of the real big no-nos if you're applying herbicides or pesticides is spraying in the water. You can't. That's a federal crime. So treating something like that is a real challenge.
The other question.
So these beetles, both the root weevil and the beetle for the loosestrife, if they were to be so successful that the plants in the area that these beetles were placed all died, would the beetles then die too, or would they move on to
I
another
mean,
plant?
certainly there'd be a probably higher likelihood of beetle mortality, but they're mobile.
But
They can fly. So they'll move.
but they're not likely to move on to another plant.
No.
No.
In fact, that's the part of the process that when they look at licensing of biological control, they look, will this control affect something else that we
Right.
don't want it to? And so they do. I mean, that's why it takes years of thought and testing
Right.
to make sure that these are only for the target species that you're after.
And are these edible to birds? These
I would,
beetles?
I would assume so. Yeah. I mean, they're just regular beetles. They're not.
Yeah,
it's not-
weevils they don't have any kind of toxin or anything.
Yeah. I love this.
And,
Here we go to,
yeah. And
Oh,
so
our favorite.
This is your friend.
yeah.
Falopia japonica. It was introduced in the 1800s as ornamental and for erosion control, which is one of the reasons you see it so commonly. It's been used for erosion control in a lot of road projects, and it gets into, the material supply for road building and just gets spread everywhere. That's why it's so common.
But does that actually work for erosion? Because
I
I
would,
thought
I
it doesn't
would assume
hold
so.
the
It grows
springs.
so thick and so fast. I would assume that it does actually work as erosion control, but I don't think the side effects are desirable.
It's like kudzu, that was another one that was introduced for erosion control.
That's,
We don't have that.
no,
at
we
least.
don't. Thank goodness.
Blessing. One blessing.
Yeah, here's that.
And so this is the knotweed psyllid. And it's a little plant, a little bug that as an adult, it nymph feeds on the plant, just pierced, it's a true bug, so it's got a piercing and sucking mouth part. So it goes around, eats the plant and, damages it and slows it down. They're common in the knotweed comes from Japan originally, and these are common on knotweed in Japan. Unfortunately, what I learned recently, I corresponded with an extension scientist at Cornell, and they've been working with knotweed psyllids, and they're finding that they're not very hardy. They have actually had them in caged on knotweed plants and not seen real significant levels of damage on the plants. And then when they're uncaged, they don't seem to be very hardy. They don't seem to stick around or be prevalent. So the case is still open on whether these will be an effective biological control.
Oh, so it's still sort of in the experimental change? Are people using it?
It's
Our community
yeah,
using it?
it's in the field trial stage.
Oh,
right
I
now,
see, okay.
which is what the Cornell Extension folks were doing.
Mhm.
So it's been through all the initial testing and they've vetted it. They're not expecting any other adverse outcomes. So they're now putting it out for field trials. It's not commercially available as far as this lady that I corresponded with knows. So, it's not something that we can buy off the shelf and try ourselves. So then I've just got a few, this is one of the bands of my existence. I don't like burdocks. And I've learned all the time, plants that I've seen all my life are invasives that I didn't know. So burdocks, another one, is an invasive plant. And the next one really pains me that's invasive because I've been a fan of the mullein for years. And it's another invasive.
Yeah,
Right.
that's interesting, because isn't this one that, the insects like, the butterflies and bees
I've
and
never really
yeah,
seen them going.
pollinators?
That doesn't mean they don't.
Yeah. Just-
I'm sorry?
The beetles the birds, the bees really like the knotweed too.
I see them on that.
They're like all over the knotweed.
And the knotweed, the bees love the knotweed because
Right.
it flowers prolifically and apparently has lots of
I know.
available
So that sort of
liquids.
makes it.
So the things that we do in our yard to try and is we've planted all kinds of pollinator stuff.
Mhm.
I'm trying all kinds of things. One I really like is called culver root. That
Called what? Culver
Culver
root?
It grows this great big 4-foot high spike with multi-spirals and has big flowers on it
Yeah.
at the end of the season when the bees are feeding. And it seems pretty hardy. And
Culver root, CUL.
I just got some New York ironweed and some blue vervain, which is a wet.
ROOT.
And something related to borage called blue mist, which apparently can get out of hand. We'll see what
But it's
happens.
not invasive, it's just aggressive.
Yeah.
Oh,
So, I guess back to, that was a little bit of a detour there.
What do you want? Where do you go?
Yeah, just go to the next slide.
Oh, down, yeah.
Down.
Okay.
It's probably another.
Oh, this one.
This one. This is really nasty stuff.
It is.
We had, it's also known as Patrick will enjoy this. This is all known as the white man's footsteps. Came to this country very early when it was settled by Europeans and was used as a flavoring. And so, but it's another allopath. This gets into the understory of, we had a patch of it in our yard and it just taken us 10 years by mechanical means to get rid of it.
And it was a small.
Finally, this year, didn't see any reseeding, but that
Those still look.
doesn't mean there won't be some next
We have to monitor, it,
So-
make sure.
Do the seeds winter over like year after year?
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
they
And so
can hang
a
around.
lot of these
years.
plants will have strategies where the seeds don't sprout the first year, they'll sprout the second and subsequent years. Just to, improve their chances of dominance and survival. So, But, I mean, this one is edible. You can pick this neat if you want.
It's a good festive.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mullen and
Need to add
the other
burdock.
plant that you showed us before, burdock, they all have some kind of culinary or medicinal.
Yeah, burdock root, I guess. I've never eaten it, but I know people do. I'm not sure I'd want to spend much time
It's
trying to
really
extract
hard to
one.
get it out.
They're pretty tough to get.
It's the root, teas made from the root.
yeah,
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
burdock tea,
Yeah.
it's
But
really
you can
bitter.
you can cook the root too, and it does taste a little tiny bit like artichoke,
Oh.
but not worth the digging
The
it's
effort,
required to
yeah.
extract it. As I found out when I was about 17 and thought I would try it. Oh, no thanks.
And so I think the last slide here is just some references. There's tons of stuff online. All you do is search invasive plants, and you'll find, you know, every state has a website usually devoted to it. The USDA has one. I didn't listed here. Cornell has lots of information about it. So there's tons of resources online if you want to get your own study of the thing going. That's all I have. I mean, I'd be glad to try and answer questions. I don't know if I have answers for your questions, but I'll try.
Oh, I just had a comment, you know, we were talking about the common things that turn out to be invasive.
Yeah.
Echinacea has spread everywhere.
Yeah,
And that's invasive.
it is now.
Yeah,
Oh.
I mean, it's considered invasive because it's not you know,
It was from the
Native.
prairies.
yeah.
Yeah.
And it has
Yeah.
spread actually. And I was letting it spread with the daylilies, but now it's taken over. So,
Huh.
and a wetland specialist we were chatting, and she said, "Oh yeah, echinacea is invasive."
Yeah.
And I thought about it. Yeah, it is.
Because sometimes the
Well-
plants can be around for a while before they take off.
Yeah.
You know, so there's also a distinction. There are native plants that we have here that act in an invasive fashion, but they belong in this environment. Good one is sumac. If you've ever had a sumac infestation, I mean, it grows like mad. It spreads very quickly and quickly dominate everything. But it's a native plant. It belongs here. So there's a
Little bit.
not all invasives are from somewhere else.
Excellent bird nest.
So is there a sense of how long it'll take the bugs that you and your son found for the knapweed to destroy it? Another several generations or?
We're gonna find out. I expect that it's probably a pretty slow process.
I would imagine.
And so what you're really looking to try and do is establish a local population of those beetles so you get successive generations. I don't know if one release is enough to do that. I'd be surprised if it was. I'd be delighted if it worked. But you know, we're just trying stuff.
Of course, there's the whole business of when things like that are introduced and their life expectancy and their whole process of regenerating their species.
Yeah. They're
Not getting frozen.
with the knapweed or the knapweed beetles. I'm pretty confident about that because this company that is we got them from in Montana is raising them and really they're selling to farmers in Montana to control knapweed, and apparently it works. And, you know, most of the farmers I know don't buy things that don't work, right? So I would suspect that it's effective.
The whole meadow up on Crane Brook is knapweed now.
My backyard I probably have 2 acres of it.
Yeah.
Mine
Taken
too.
over. I mean, I'm hoping that the goldenrod will eventually, I've been going out there manually, just trying to cut the tops off to at least prevent it
That's a
from
good,
seeding.
good strategy.
But,
It is.
you know, it kills your arms and
Yeah.
they come right back. I mean,
Yeah.
I just saw some knapweed on the side of the road today, blooming today.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
that's in road fill too. I think that's
Yeah.
gotten spread.
Well,
Yeah.
when the road crew rebuilt Harvey Road, they ditched us two summers ago
Yeah.
now. And they came back and blew, I think it was probably some hay they got from somebody on the side of the
Oh,
road.
yeah.
And immediately we had knapweed everywhere.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so, but I took care of that. So,
At least that is on the side of the road. It's easy to yank it out. The stuff in our yard is not easy to yank out.
Yeah.
It's not easy. I mean, I worked really hard on in my yard,
Yeah,
and that, it came back, and then the next year, it really,
I was encouraged though, because this year when the work was done on Pleasant Valley Road, they did come back and reseed, and I've been watching it. I think they have used material that doesn't have other weed seeds in it, because I've not seen any evidence that that's happening again.
is that the spray, they sprayed this grass
Yeah,
seed, or was
I
it
use some
max?
sort of machine that chops it up.
hyper cedar, I think.
Hyper
they call
seeder,
it.
that's what it's called.
I've been trying to control small portions of the knapweed, like maybe the size of half this table,
Mhm.
in an area where I'm trying to plant more native plants.
Yeah. that's
In
a
order
good
to
way
try and-
go. Yeah.
And I've been using urea,
Huh.
which is nitrogen-based fertilizer,
Sure, yeah,
40-0-0.
Yeah.
Burns the roots of everything it touches.
Yeah.
But then it dissipates into ammonia and then it's gone.
Yeah.
And it really does get out the knapweed.
Huh.
And it reduces the need to have to dig it up, and when you're
Yeah.
not sure you're gonna get it, and then having to take it to the, Redmond Road, the compost.
Yeah.
Green Mountain compost. So I've been using that in several areas. You have to wait a while before you can plant something in there, but if I can get at it in the beginning of the spring, I can usually plant something in there by the end and not have at the end of the
So
summer.
that fits right into the integrated pest management. That's a chemical control, right?
Right.
Yeah.
But it'll kill what's there, but it's not like Roundup. It's not long lasting.
Yeah, Roundup is an interesting chemical. It's really more of a danger to the people who mix it and apply it than its process of how it works is it's a substitute. It's a non-functional substitute amino acid. So when the plant takes it up, it tries to incorporate it as part of its growth pattern, and it doesn't work because it's a non-functional amino acid and kills the plant. But it's also there are actually some bacteria that love it, will actually digest it and eat it, soil bacteria, and it also tends to be very soil bound. It gets tied up by the soil. Even if you get it in the water, just things that are suspended in the water, it'll attract to that and bind and fall to the bottom. It doesn't really travel in the environment very effectively. I don't like it because it's not specific. It kills everything it touches.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, that's what the urea does, but
Yeah.
it turns into ammonia
Yeah, well, yeah,
and then
yeah,
dissipates.
yeah,
By
urea's
the time it just really just burns, it'll burn anything, you spill some on your grass, it burns, gets it all brown.
I know you gave me some for the bishop's weed.
The bishop's weed,
and
right.
It didn't really do anything to it, but
We should
maybe,
try it again.
maybe I dispensed it too
Broadly,
thinly, broadly. Yeah.
maybe. We can try it again next spring.
Yeah.
I've had good luck just occluding things, taking, my old tarps and stuff and put it down, weight it down and leave it there for a year or so, and then come back and put native plants in, and usually works pretty well.
I had actually it covered with tarps, a whole area. And it was there for one full year, and I wanted to wait till the following, so it'd be 18 months.
Yeah.
And that fall, we got wicked wind, so about 3 years, tore everything off the tarps.
Yeah.
And the next spring wasn't quite long enough, and it was back. That's the area, it's on my bank.
I know.
Yeah.
We could try a little section next year.
I've been told, and I know from my father's experience, if you have a isolated patch of knotweed that you can get at from all sides, if you mow it and mow it and mow it, you will eventually kill it.
Same with the knapweed.
Yeah. And my son has goats, so the goats actually will eat the knapweed early in the season, but once it starts to flower, they don't like it.
I talked to somebody not in the state of Georgia, but in Georgia up here,
Vermont.
about goats. I was just curious, and they said, well, we don't recommend it because they excrete the seeds. And so they eat the knapweed, sure,
So they spread it around. Right.
but then they just spread it somewhere else. So they said they didn't recommend it for knapweed.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, it was just kind of an interest. It was a couple of years ago, a couple of summers
I
ago.
would
I
think
was
they
sort
would
of,
do in a seed because they've got a multi-chambered stomach.
I don't know.
Anyway, that's what they told me, so I dropped it. But I'm gonna look into this root weevil.
Yeah, so it's, I'd have to look. I'll send you the link to the company that in Montana. It's,
That'd be good.
IWC, and I don't remember what it stands for. They were very good to deal with. They dropped the ball on our order because we didn't make it from the office to the shipment list, and I called them back and said, hey, what happened? And they said, oh, our error, we'll send you the beetles for free, you just pay for the shipping.
Oh,
So,
nice.
like, great, I mean, you don't get deals like that very often.
No, you don't.
But it's expensive because the overnight shipping's like
Shipping is,
100. It's gotta be overnight, and it's like $120.
And they have to really bundle them up.
Yeah,
And then you just let them go
Yeah, put
Just-
them on the knapweed, yeah.
at a certain time of the year?
They'll send them at the
Yeah.
right time of year, which is the fall.
Oh, it's in the fall?
Yeah.
But is it too late now?
Yes, I see,
Yeah.
we, just by pure chance, after I did the research, I called these people up and we hit the shipping window for the year,
Yeah.
just by luck.
Mhm.
Just luck, yeah.
And, so they do that every year at that same time. So that's when they want you to release them. And I said to her, oh God, you're gonna send me directions. This is probably more complicated than just opening the box and dumping them out. She said, no.
And so just as like a one-time shot, so
Yep.
next year,
No,
you're,
we might have to do more.
Yeah,
Uh,
we'll
it's a
see it.
big patch.
Going back to integrated pest management, right, we've got a plan, right? We know we're releasing these, so we'll go back there and evaluate, come midsummer. If we see any knapweed looking not happy, and
right,
Yeah,
see, just kind of check ourselves on the process and see you didn't.
yeah, because you need to monitor stuff, and you can even I'm sure there's somebody in the state of Vermont that could help you come up with a monitoring plan. So that you can measure, like if it's counting, counting
Densities, yeah.
densities or whatever.
It's a typical process for something like that. If you're a biologist, would be like take a square meter
Yeah.
thing, throw it down, count the
On a
number,
random spot.
and do that in several places.
Yeah.
And then, make a record of that and then go back to the same places and do it again later and see if the density is decreasing.
Yeah.
It's not terribly complicated, but
Right.
it's time consuming.
And then you would have a control plot where you didn't do anything, but I don't know. You would need to get that fancy, because this thing has already been proven to work, so.
well, what you're hoping is that the beetles will reproduce
Yeah.
and spread, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. That they become part of the local environment and keep the knapweed in check you achieve a balance of knapweed and everything else that's growing around it and the beetles and they
Yeah.
become
It's not gonna get rid of
less of
all
a problem.
Mm-hmm.
So that's all I have.
Yeah, thank you.
You're
Yeah. We have jobs for our own little gardens for next year.
welcome.
Maybe we should order now, so we'll be there at the front of the line and get them. So I'm gonna plant mine, let them loose along the fence.
Oh, the root weevils, the
Yes.
knapweed?
Yeah, I'm gonna order some and let them along the fence,
There you
between
go.
the
I'll
big
put
and the
mine
little
in a
pasture.
different,
Yeah.
we can strategize where to put them.
Yes.
All right.
It's
All right,
pretty
well, we'll
exciting.
take-
Well,
we'll take
thank
our
you
leave.
very much.
You're
Yeah,
welcome.
thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
And feel free to get all of me if there's anything else I can try to help with.
Yeah,
See
well,
you- see you next time.
yeah, thank you.
Thank you
Wonderful.
both very
Yeah.
much.
Yes,
I'm gonna take off too.
okay,
Thank you.
of course. There, we're back.
Hmm.
Patrick, I didn't see you raise a hand, but I couldn't really tell. Doing, this with the PowerPoint, I can't see the screen for the participants. I hope you didn't have any questions that we overlooked, but
No, I didn't have any questions.
quite interesting. Yes. Yeah, it's sort of gotten me, let me try to find my, okay. So, winter programs, I think is the next thing on the agenda. And just before when we start talking about them, I was CC'd on an email that Amy Oligetz has sent to the company that we're ordering the,
Yeah.
yes, because they haven't sent the
Late.
seeds. Yeah, she said, well, when are you going to be sending, oh, the plants and the seeds. We have some seeds I have to get from Trinity's husband, I guess. And then Amy's waiting on the plants that we're going to plant along that wet area at the base of the sliding hill. I guess is the best way to say it.
Yeah, it doesn't look so wet right now.
Oh, no, it doesn't. So, but that's just a heads up. I know we had talked about coordinating and having other, a ceremony, something with it, but if we're trying to coordinate, we don't have one component of it yet. Although, yeah. Patrick, did you find any dates when you would be free to?
Yeah, we're fairly committed to doing a forgiveness moon ceremony, which would be late December, early January. That might be a good way to introduce the hardship of the Abenakis into the equation.
Okay. Yes. But what would we be doing to do that?
We need a fire. We need people. We have drums. We know the songs. We'll make some paper copies of the songs, and I think we must have 4 or 5 drums and beaters that are available, and so we have to pick a place, make sure we have permission to have a fire, and we'll make copies of the songs and the purpose behind the whole ceremony, and we'll provide a few Indians, and we can go from
And
there.
yeah, what time of day would that be? Like late afternoon?
Late afternoon, yeah.
So,
It's fires are a campfire or a bonfire, whatever you want to call it, are uh, more attractive and visual if it's starting to get dark. And if it gets really dark, it's a good excuse to go home.
yeah. So maybe could be something, I know that there is the hot chocolate sliding. I don't know that that's in January, but it might be, that the rec committee has. So there'll be folks around.
Yeah, we don't have to do it on the correct day because it's a different day every year. It's the first moon after the equinox. So
Oh, after
as I
the
say,
winter.
it's either late December or the very first part of January. But we we've decided that it probably makes more sense to not get any criticism from other tribes is to actually not do the ceremony on the right day. So then it is not a real ceremony as far as our culture is concerned. It's just a practice.
Oh,
That makes
So
sense.
anyway, that's our thinking. It's getting a little cold to try to do. We had a total crop failure in our demonstration garden at Ethan Allen Homestead campus. What was edible, the raccoons got. And so we're really out of the gardening frame of mind right now, or harvest frame of mind for that matter. nothing to harvest.
Did the drought contribute to it or just the raccoons?
The drought did too, and remember we had really crummy weather in May, planting season, and
Wet
so we got a
soil?
late planting. Um, we had some little squash about the size of mini cucumbers, and the raccoons eat those too.
Mhm.
They ate all the corn, they ate the beans. We have nothing. So
So that's,
we'll prepare all the paperwork and plan on doing something in that time frame, and we'll communicate with you so that you have a chance to invite people.
okay. That sounds good.
Yep.
It could even be around, if it's late December, around New Year's Eve.
Yeah,
Or
yeah.
the 1st of January.
But
It's the 1st of January.
it is a very spiritual time of the year for um, our people. The concept of forgiveness is something that we take to heart. Um, I'm not sure that much of the rest of the world does, but anyway, it's really quite a beautiful ceremony, and one of the things that you can do is you can bring a piece of wood from your own house and uh, sing your best wishes into the wood, and then burn that wood in the fire, and that sends it off to the sky people. So anyway, it's very nice.
Yeah.
And we usually keep it pretty short because we're freezing to death.
So part of our job would be to find a place that would allow fire.
Yeah,
It seems like that's,
fire and a large enough space because we need a circle of people around the fire, so it can't
yeah.
be in the middle of a forest or something like that. It really has to be cleared ground.
Hmm. Cleared ground as in, uh,
Well,
or,
no brush or
yeah.
trees or hay barns or anything like that very close by.
No hay bars? Oh,
That's great
Yeah.
sounding.
yeah, that sounds great. Yeah, it really does. It'd be really interesting and a kind of
Yeah,
wintry,
I
almost
think
as
you'll
long as
enjoy it.
it's not 30 below. No, good. Okay, so as we get closer, like, let's,
Well, yeah,
we'll,
when we get closer to the right time, we'll make sure that we have all the right stuff in place and in order, and then we can actually look at the weather report and look for a fairly warm evening, as in not 20 below, maybe only 10 below.
okay. So the next time we're going to really talk about organizing will be the meeting in December for us,
Yeah,
Conservation Commission. Would that be
I think
when to
that'd
do a
be
little
fine.
discussion? Okay.
I wouldn't expect that we could do any kind of advertising that would draw a big crowd, but who knows?
Oh, well, we can check like a week ahead and post on the Facebook sites and FPF and um, the, some of the other towns. We could
Oh
last
yeah,
week.
maybe.
Yeah.
We had 70 some odd people one time, and it was a fairly warm night. But I think that one was in December. So stay tuned. We'll do what we can.
Okay, good. Good. Oh. So, or the,
So,
here.
um, who's going to inquire, or how are we going to find out about a place? It seems like that's a good spot to start.
Yes.
I mean, I'm thinking, one thought that comes to my mind is the parking lot at Casey's Hill, but then where do people park? Or,
Right, I was thinking about that too, in the winter when they have the, Nordic skiing going on, they allow people to park down below, right?
That's
They
right.
open up that, so I was wondering if that could be a spot, and then we could walk out. But I don't know if that would interrupt the grooming or the skiing going on.
Well.
Or would it be, like, it might not even be snowy at that point, so.
Or it might not, but it might. Well, we can talk to, the rec committee on if that would interrupt their skiing. I mean, they're kind of the folks that have their plans. That would be a good spot.
I think,
And actually in the winter, we could, I'm wondering why we couldn't have it in the, if the parking lot's out, but it might be in. Because people could park at the school and then the other overflow. I wonder if we could just have it in a flat on the meadow somewhere there. I mean, it's going to be snowy and it's not going to spread, and the ski tracking goes more around the outside. Yeah, of course they might hate us for trampling the track.
well, it's not gonna be a huge bonfire, right? It would be a smaller
More like a campfire.
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 So another thought is the parking at, Moore Park, then people could park at the town hall. And there's those two places where there's some gravel, or between the trees and the gazebo.
Yeah,
That would be,
and it wouldn't get, if we had it at Moore Park where the gravel is, it wouldn't get in the way of the
ice skating.
ice skating. Yeah. And actually, that'd be very cool if it's cold enough for ice skating. We'll have the ceremony and then the skaters, that'd be sort of nice. Yeah, check.
Is,
Now, that might actually work pretty well because if it's on the right day, we could probably get permission to let cars be parked at the church parking lot.
Yeah. Yeah.
so it would mean talking to the town and the rec committee?
And I think if we have to get, well, we could just talk to the town for Moore Park. I don't think that.
Right.
Yeah. And I think we have to talk to the Catholic Church for parking in their parking lot. I mean,
It probably wouldn't hurt, but I know for, food trucks, people park everywhere.
yeah.
And that's, doesn't seem to be a problem.
Maybe they don't really care if it's not
I think if
Sunday.
you leave a car there for a few days,
Yeah.
like we've had to do sometimes, they'll leave a note on your windshield, but
Yeah.
I'll ask people at the church about their parking lot.
Yeah.
Are you gonna talk to the town, or?
I can talk to the town. Yeah.
I think we ought to
Yeah.
organize.
Okay. Okay. That's right. I can talk to the town.
That'd be great. I would, it's just, and maybe we can talk about it around the table right now, but it seems like Moore Park is a best place of all in terms of parking, size, location.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think also that's a good point. And, that there are a lot of people that complain if there's parking along Mountain Road.
Right.
So,
we encourage
Yeah,
that.
we don't want to encourage the complaints. So, It's, yeah. Yeah, I think that would be good because then the people that might not want to go out of their houses to go up to the sliding hill, I mean, in the village will be there and then they can
Yeah.
wander across. Yeah, I think that's a good idea. Okay, good. Wow. And then I think we have to, yeah, that sounds good. Patrick, is food offered or is it just our firewood that we'll be offering?
Just a fire, I think. There's no reason why hot tea or something of that nature couldn't be part of the equation, but um, it it will be after December 22 this year, and I can't say exactly because I can't remember if it's the first full moon after December 22 or if it's the first visible moon.
Oh,
No, we'll have to look that up and see when that and we'll just pick a time.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
gonna be a rehearsal,
yeah, we'll pick a time and let me
a
see.
practice, a celebration of forgiveness.
Oh, I don't have full moon on my cell phone.
I'm
Can't
not
check.
sure if you actually have to forgive somebody. I mean, like if you've only got one person that you really wicked hate, I think you're allowed to keep that.
Okay.
Okay.
You
But
can make one up.
what about forgiving yourself? That's a whole nother story.
I guess it probably is, yeah.
Yeah.
But in the
You
past,
could
we
one could do that.
modernized it. We've had allowed people to make phone calls to long lost relatives and
Wow.
Really?
all of that stuff, and that goes a little too deep for me because I hold my grudges wicked close.
Oh, I better not cross you.
Making amends.
Yes. No. Oh, great. Good. Um, Other thoughts for fall winter programs? I'm very excited about the forgiveness moon now. That's going to be really nice.
Uh,
We've had a movie series once. We've had speakers. I think it's a possibility we could get a speaker. I'm gonna.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
I was just bringing us back to maybe 3 months ago when there was the energy fair at Browns River. Chittenden Solid Waste was there, and we talked a little bit about possibly organizing a tour to their facility. I know that at the same time, there was a mention made about Dan doing something, Dan Steinbauer doing something.
Yes, he wanted to do composting, but I think it.
Kind of got lost in the.
Well, it got lost, but we talked about having it at the same time as the planting that, and maybe that would have been too diverse, the planting of the shrubs that haven't come yet.
Yeah.
And also maybe having the forgiveness ceremony, which is more powerful to have. Oh, I don't think it was the forgiveness ceremony that we were talking about then. We were talking about the green corn ceremony for the summer or the end of
Yeah,
summer.
or a blessing of the fields.
Yeah, and so without the components, I couldn't, also this fall, I mean, this coming weekend is an open weekend, but there are a lot of
Yeah, I
things.
don't know.
Yeah.
We have a shortage of people. Two of our important ladies are ill, and they are always involved in our ceremonies, and I'm hoping they get better before the forgiveness moon.
Um, I'm looking at June's minutes, and there's mention there about the idea of going to their facility, CSWD facility, and I still have the contact information for the person who would do that. I could find out a little bit about that if it were something, I mean, it's a good winter activity.
Would it be just for us, or are you thinking for the
Open
public?
it for the
Yeah.
public. And, basically people getting themselves to the location, I would imagine.
Yeah.
We wouldn't organize a bus
Yeah.
or anything. Does that make sense? I don't know how many people I'd be interested, knowing what the deal is.
Is that the Williston one, or is it the one that's for the very bad chemicals, which is off close to the airport, or is it Essex, or do we know?
I don't know. Well, let me see. I just have a school outreach coordinator contact and a business outreach coordinator, and it just gives the administrative office, so I can find out and obviously come back in November with some information, and we could make a plan from there for January or February, maybe. Otherwise, I don't know if we have anything more happening, do we?
At the last meeting, we talked about maybe Maeve and Bernie doing a iNaturalist workshop
That's right. And
Yeah.
they're very
with the
keen.
library. Is that what we were thinking, like teaming up with the Deborah Rossen?
Exactly, yes, thank you.
Yep.
Yeah.
And they were very excited, and we're gonna, I should look at that email.
And we were going to have, was it Jens? When did it? No, it wasn't Yen. Was it Kent McFarland? I mean, the Vermont Echo Center for Vermont Echo. No, you had, somebody else had a good idea of someone to contact that was more. But it might be Vermont Echo Center. They may do those. Or do you,
I don't know about that.
yeah. Oh, I might have my minutes. I just don't have, I read today's minutes.
Okay, so. In an email to Mav, I said, thinking about hosting a workshop and book talk, which would include her book, one or two books at this point, but doing the iNaturalist teaching piece. And she said they would love to hear our response, and I sent a response that we were enthusiastic. We checked with the Deborah Rawson, put some dates out, collaborate with Jericho, and manage the publicity, and that she and Bernie could design a program, and we can go from there.
And so they would be teaching the iNaturalist.
Yeah.
Okay, that's who it was. Yeah, that would be good to have somebody local that we can communicate with, because the communication with Vermont Center for Vermont Eco Studies is sometimes it gets lost in, I think, their studies. I mean, they're really good.
Well,
but
I'll check in with the Deborah Rawson about potential dates and if they would be willing to have us there.
Yeah.
And come back in November with those dates. And we don't have to do it. I mean, we would essentially have some time after the first of the year, right?
Right, yeah. I can't imagine that we're gonna be having anything at this point before the first of the year.
Right.
Because,
No, I'm speaking for myself, I can't imagine.
yeah, so, okay. That would be a good one. Because I get onto it sometimes and it's,
But
you know, I have it, I'm like, on my phone, but I guess,
My naturalist.
yeah. So, I don't refer to it. I mean, I don't,
I think I think we could, it would be a really interesting thing for the general public, and Bernie's great to listen to anyway. I mean, he has so much knowledge, and I think Mab was really excited to imagine that we could support her in her books, which don't have anything to do with bugs and stuff, I don't think. I think they're mysteries, but anyway,
no, I think it's a good idea. And yeah, that would be wonderful.
okay.
So for Crane Brook, do we want to move on?
Yes.
Okay. I did the September monitoring, but I forgot to look to see if the picnic table had been fixed. Anybody know? Okay.
I took out the board that was broken and hammered down the nails with a rock when I was up there a few days ago.
Okay.
And I had emailed Anton a long time, 2 months ago, maybe, or when it was first discovered. And he said he'd take a look at it, but it was right at the time that school was starting. And I don't really know, I'm a little concerned about just calling them to fix stuff.
Yeah.
You know, I don't feel like that doesn't feel quite right. So I don't know if we should forge ahead and try and replace it. The whole table's gonna fall apart sooner or later.
Well, at some point we'll have a new table. We'll just one board at a time.
Now, that's one
Positive
way to do it.
thinking. Or, is it, I'm trying to think. I was up there, since the Bernie walk, but, can't remember when. I just can't remember how rickety the table is. Is that something we'd like to have the Boy Scouts do, or the shop kids at the high school make, or?
If we want to get it done quickly, and it's like can't remember. It's like 2x4, right? And 6 feet long. I could just. And if do we have paint? The paint for it?
Yeah, we have a stain
Where's that located? The stain.
at my house.
Okay.
Oh, no, it might be here.
Well, I'll just grab some
Yeah.
something from Overshot and just right in.
Okay, the other piece that might be something to think about easily fixed is, I don't know what it would be called, but the brace piece underneath the center is rotten
I'll go.
and
I
would
usually
usually.
go walk up there after these meetings. I'll just go take a look and
Okay,
push it around and see how sturdy it is.
you'll notice the rocks are on top. They're aesthetically placed on top.
Did you place them
Oh, I used them, yeah.
to do the hammering?
And then if we
Yes,
purchase
yes.
something for like the town, could we be reimbursed through Sherry, or like how does
Yes.
that work?
We
So,
need to have a receipt
yeah,
and give it to Sherry.
don't use
when
your own
it's-
money because we have, we budgeted for it.
Yeah.
So
And when you buy the materials at Jerry Hill, let them know it's for the town.
Oh, okay.
The Conservation Commission, and that'll do the tax stuff.
The town doesn't pay a tax, isn't that it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
that's very
And then you
nice.
can just hand it over to Sherry. Well, I haven't been reimbursed for a couple of things yet, but.
okay.
But on that, Crane Brook thing, I got an email the other day from Marcy, who was kind of alarmed, and she noticed that along the trail where the creek, the brook is, and then where we did the knotweed work, were some very large, looked like maybe tractor tracks and or some gully mud ditches. And then there was another place that she calls the tabletop area that had all kinds of brush on it, which sort of eliminated being able to walk on the trail.
Sounds like somebody's trying to block the trail again.
And so I went up the next day and sure enough saw the ditches or
Mud.
yeah, and it looked like maybe a large, like the tractor that does the mowing, because the whole place has been mowed on the meadow now, may have mowed on the left to keep back, I don't know. The other thing is it could have been in efforts to widen for winter travel and when I arrived, there was a grayish truck coming from the opposite direction with a man driving it. And we didn't have a conversation or stop or anything, but that was very curious. So I was just gonna check to see if there had been any mowing done by the town tomorrow. And I did email Marcy and let her know that I had looked. She was concerned. I think she takes her stewardship very seriously, and was just wanting to make sure that we weren't running into some trouble with neighbors.
I was going to say, well, sometimes it's muddy and they do drive their trucks through there, but it isn't muddy. I mean, we haven't had a lot of rain, so most of that area is not as mucky as it.
Well, if you're headed towards
the old culvert, where the Cranebrook crosses the road. So,
yeah,
yeah.
on the left, it is kind of wet in
No,
there.
it is.
Yeah. It is wet, but it wasn't, it didn't look malicious, I guess. It looked like someone drove in there and just had big tires, like this.
Big tires. Okay.
But I thought I'd ask Brad if he knew if the town vehicles had been in there. That would be helpful to know.
Or if they had asked someone to trim, where the side of the road trimmed at all, or no? It was. No, it wasn't. Okay. Yeah, that would be helpful to know.
And everything else is pretty much status quo. So she's working on the map, and I think I'm on for this next month walkthrough. And
What, for November? Or October?
yeah,
Yeah. I think I signed up for November. There's
I don't know I have it written down somewhere. Anyway, thank you for being willing to do that.
Yeah.
That's terrific.
yeah. We have a carpenter in our midst. Good.
Mostly I build with pallets.
Yes, okay.
I saw you in the parade.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, that was a fun day.
And my
That's
son
great.
and I were with the lions. So.
Yeah.
The Lucky the Lion came out.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah. We did sold a lot of onion rings. It was good. It's good. Great. The weather.
Yeah, it was beautiful weather. I know, next year I'll be able to come, it'll probably rain. We had the Morgan group that I'm with, I'm president of, but we had the big horse show at Addison, and it was those days again. And the year before it was. This next year, we're changing the date. But it's just, I wanted to be there so badly, but leaving,
It's
you know,
my
I
favorite.
got down. Yeah, it was beautiful.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I missed it again. Yeah, okay.
Do we want to approve the September 9th minutes?
I move to
Yeah.
approve the September minutes.
Dan, you making, you're gonna make a motion?
I second.
Yeah, and Laura seconding. And, all in favor of, is there any discussion on the minutes? I thought they were good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
I'm just sorry I didn't.
I'm loving the logo everywhere.
Looks good.
Does look good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So it does. And these are the color greens that you use for the poster too for tonight. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Anyway, I'm sorry about that. Are there any comments about the minutes? All in favor of approving the minutes as written, say aye. Right? The ayes have it. All right, well, thank you.
Mhm.
Anything else for the agenda?
Who is small talk next month? Do we have school? First.
We should, it's not on my calendar.
You were last time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have something you want?
If we need someone, I can, I've got something queued up.
Okay.
Good excuse to dive into at least.
All right.
All right, good. And we'll have you on the docket for the small talk.
Sounds good.
Sounds good. All right.
And the only other thing is another appeal for members, maybe.
Yeah.
So we need at least 5, right? For the-
We have 5 right now.
Surprised somebody didn't collar Jonathan when he was here. You know, he knows a lot of stuff.
Yes, he
Yeah.
does.
No, he does. He does. I could ask him if he'd be interested. Because he does. And I've asked a couple months before. I was thinking of Don Toby too. But I'll talk to Jonathan to see if he'd
He's
like
going to connect with you on the site for the Beatles, so you can respond to him then.
Yeah. Ooh, yeah.
But
And I've forgotten his wife's name, but she's really into gardening, and you know, we could invite both of them.
Yeah. Well, her name is I think it's Miriam, but her nickname is Mim.
Yeah.
Which is the name that my mother's nickname is.
What's her last name? What was it? Miriam, because I know they had different last
I
names.
know,
Yeah,
I
an
don't-
H, but I didn't catch it.
I didn't get it either.
We'll see if I can look her up.
Yeah. Yeah. And that'd be good too.
So,
Yeah.
what if I put together a real simple all call and maybe if I could pass that to you and you could get it out in the world a little
Yeah.
bit?
A little blurb about maybe our mission and a couple things on our 5-year plan, and then a little poster, and just kind of see who comes, see who shows up. I think would
Yeah.
be good.
That would be good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll hit up some of our neighbors and stuff that are on Poker Hill and get them involved.
Great.
Yeah. Where are you on Poker Hill?
Almost at the north end by Cubby and Bill.
Up by Covey Drive. Yeah, that'd be good. All right. Well,
And so, Lori, if I send you something and you want to edit and add, I'm fine with that.
good. We have a plan. Does anyone want to make a motion to adjourn?
I move that we adjourn our meeting now.
Is there seconds?
A second.
All in favor? Aye. All right, thank you. There, good. And now I'm going to end the recording.